Old habits die hard. And for the US, that old habit is meddling, poking their nose in other countries. This time, it's in India. You may have seen this piece of news from Delhi last week. Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was arrested. Probe agencies accuse him of corruption. So the Indian law is taking its course. Indian agencies are investigating, Indian courts are hearing pleas, and Indian leaders are involved. There is no foreign angle and no scope for involvement. Yet Washington could not stay silent. They were asked for a comment on Kejriwal's arrest. And here is what they said, I'm quoting, "We encourage a fair, transparent and timely legal process for Chief Minister Kejriwal." Wrong answer. The right one is no comment. This is India's internal matter. India is a close partner of ours. Therefore, we do not want to comment on it. That would have been a fair response if we're talking about the United States of America. So there had to be a lecture. Now, India has hit back at these comments. It has taken, quote unquote, strong objection to America's meddling. Again, let me quote. States are expected to be respectful of the sovereignty and internal affairs of others. It could otherwise end up setting unhealthy precedents. India's legal processes are based on an independent judiciary which is committed to objective and timely outcomes. Casting aspersions on that is unwarranted. It doesn't end here. India also summoned a top US diplomat. Her name is Gloria Berbina. She is the Deputy Chief of Mission in Delhi. She was called by the External Affairs Ministry of India today. The meeting lasted for 40 minutes. I'm sure the Indian side had a lot to say. But it's not just the US. Last week, Germany did the same. Their Foreign Office was also asked about Kejriwal's arrest. Look at their response.
We have taken note of this case. India is a democratic country. We expect and assume that the standards relating to the independence of judiciary and basic democratic principles will also be applied in this case. Like anyone facing accusations, Mr. Kejriwal is entitled to a fair and impartial trial. This includes that he can make use of all legal avenues without restrictions. The presumption of innocence is a central element of the rule of law and must apply to him.
Again, wrong answer. Why talk about access to legal services? Why call for a fair trial? These are not exceptions in India. This is the norm. They're guaranteed by the Constitution of India. We do not need Germany to remind us. Arvind Kejriwal has top lawyers representing him. He has not been convicted without a trial. He can approach any court he wants to, and his supporters are protesting without fear. So why meddle in such an issue? India has hit back at Germany too. Their Deputy Chief of Mission was summoned last week. Listen to what New Delhi said, and I'm quoting again. "We see such remarks as interfering in our judicial process and undermining the independence of our judiciary. Law will take its own course in the instant matter. Biased assumptions made on this account are most unwarranted." The Indian embassy in Berlin also jumped in. They issued a démarche to Germany, basically a formal complaint. So India's message to both countries is clear. Stay in your lane. We can manage our own affairs. But don't expect either country to take this advice. Just consider the United States. Earlier this month, they raised concerns about another Indian affair, the new citizenship law, CAA. Washington said it would closely monitor the law. India criticized those comments too, but days later, the US is back at it. So my point is quite simple. India can criticize the comments, summon envoys and issue démarches. But these Western countries won't change. So what more can India do? Can it do a switcheroo? Basically, give the West a taste of its own medicine. And there is a lot to criticize. America has virtually no abortion rights. Migrant children in American detention centers are suffering. A presidential candidate in the US faces 91 felony charges. Should India then talk about a fair, transparent and timely legal process for Mr. Trump? Germany is thinking about banning right-wing parties. Should India start criticizing them? It won't, because that's not New Delhi's style. In fact, it should not be any country's style. We're not saying countries are beyond criticism. They're not. But meddling for the sake of meddling is wrong and counterproductive. So is commenting before understanding the nuances of a case. This whole controversy has just one silver lining. It shows that there is resilience in ties. Both the US and Germany are key partners for India, and so far such comments have not derailed that. They've been handled on a case-by-case basis. But you cannot take that for granted. Maybe one day these comments will cut deep. Maybe they will galvanize public opinion, and then it may be too late. It's something that these Western powers should think about.